So guys, one of the things that we sort of find as a challenge is some dentists, they do know that customer service is an issue at their practice. I mean, they want to do training, they're willing to do it. But what I find is the staff might be a little bit resistant to it. Where this usually plays out is a young dentist who just bought a new practice from a retiring dentist. And usually when you buy the practice, I mean, you don't get to interview the staff because the staff don't know the practice is being sold. So once they bought it, they sort of inherit the staff. And sometimes, they've been doing things a certain way for 20, 30 years. And they say, well, with Dr. Smith, we never had to do it this way. And it's like, well, Dr. Smith was about to go bankrupt. So that's why the practice got sold. So how do you deal with, let's say the dentist is on board, they want to do training, but they're getting pushback from the staff. Do you fire them? Is this a leadership issue? How do you tackle this?
Well, let's talk about this. Well, what do you think, Nick? What do you think if you want a pretty good business? If you want to do training and your team doesn't want to do training, what happens?
So I have defaulted to the, if they're not going to be on board, it's like you need to find another job because I can't turn you into something you're not. I think
there you go.
Whether it was for something you guys had said, like you can't turn a donkey into a racehorse. You're wasting your time, right? So that really stuck with me.
It's really more about don't expect a donkey to be a racehorse.
Yeah.
And the little nuance is important because we want to approach this with compassion, not with they're a terrible person. We weren't able to convert them. A racehorse and a donkey have different functions, and one is not better than the other. There is no better. But if this person is not capable or does not want to do that, it's potentially not a right fit. And if you start asking the donkey to do something it doesn't want to do, it's not going to be a good outcome. And so the first issue, though, that always happens is it becomes a trial of the leadership. And it is a leadership issue. So the first question is, do you really want to train on customer service? Is it really important to you? And if so, how much? Because I don't know, I kind of think of Nietzsche, the philosopher. It's kind of like, I don't know, something to the effect that whichever is less painful, you'll do. So,
yes. Yeah.
So I mean, it's not rocket science here. Is my fear of addressing the team greater than my fear of losing tons of money because I'm not doing customer service or the value that I see? And most dentists, it's almost like Jerry Seinfeld had this joke that more people are afraid of public speaking than dying. So you'd rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy. So if you would like to lose $250,000+ every year off your business, and that's for a smaller practice, and that's the price you want to pay for allowing your staff to be as they are or not train and up it, that's your prerogative. Your fear of not being good enough or fear of rejection or something is so great that you're willing to accept mediocrity. And it's not me to judge what's better. Some people don't. Some people are very nonchalant. They want to practice like that. So, but don't call me and don't call Nick and say, I want XYZ. I want to make more money. I want my team to be more responsive. I want to provide better customer service. I want my patients. Don't be congruent. Don't ask for that because you can't have both. You can't have a subpar team or a team that's not willing to do it, and you have that vision. Something's got to give. Does that make sense? So that's why I always come back to the leadership part is that you have to have such a great conviction. And then you go to your team, because if you're not on board, they're going to, because a lot of team members, here's their point of view. They know dentists always buying a new thing. They're always into a new training.
Yeah, it's the latest.
And they know, let me just, there are two tactics a team will do, a experienced team. One, this is a smart team. I'll go along with it for the first few months. And then I'll just see if he or she just forgets about it. That usually happens. And then other times they say, I'm just not doing it. That's rare. Typically they'll kind of stall. But the point is you have to make clear as a leader, we're going to be doing this. And our philosophy is 20 minutes a week for the rest of your career. You're always training. Okay. And if you get somebody, this is very rare, that's so bold to say, I'm not doing it, then that's an easy, basically, statement saying, I give my resignation to your company. That's basically what they're saying. And I would let them go. The more difficult ones are the ones that they say they're going to do it and they don't, and then you have to chase them, and they're just going to make your life difficult that you'll be like, it's not worth it. But how bad do you want it? There was a great book by Randy Pausch, professor at Carnegie Mellon, that wrote, brick walls are there for a reason. They show you how bad do you want it. So this is a question of leadership. And it's not just I fire everybody, but you better get your act on straight as a leader of what's important to you. And then the answer becomes clear. And it doesn't have to be done in a mean way. You can have lots of compassion for all your people. But if you're going to have a business of racehorses, it would be inappropriate or not efficient to have a bunch of donkeys.